All right, I want to switch one more time. Let's do some quick takes. The future of engineering. Tell me one industry that you think that needs a reinvention of engineering right now.
Wow, I think every industry needs a reinvention of engineering right now. Um, oh boy, if you look at the world's biggest problems, clean water, clean air, I mean, you look at some of the biggest issues that are out there. Um, if you really look at a solution to those, because I've actually given some personal thought to this, energy tends to be a core solution to most of those problems. So if you were going to pick one area that we would really do massive transformational engineering, it would be around energy and energy production, especially if you look at what we're doing with AI, you look at what we're doing with all these other things, and you look at global warming and all the other things that are going on, that could be an area. If you want one to pick, although as I said earlier, I can't think of one that it doesn't relate to.
That's great. So, give me one emerging tech trend that people should pay attention to.
Well, there are many, 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 and there are many in the world of biology, chemistry, physics, if you take the core sciences. But I think one that we've got to really pay attention to is quantum computing. Because quantum computing is moving very rapidly, and a lot of money is being spent on it, and it's coming into play. So there is quantum hardware, the actual computing part, but there's also the quantum software. And once quantum gets to a certain level, which will be fairly soon, it will render obsolete a lot of our old computing and ways of protecting ourselves and so on. So one of the interesting things is instead of just working on the hardware, which takes a little more time, working on the software so that the software is ready when the hardware is at the right point.
What do you think is the one hard trend that people are ignoring that's going to take them by huge surprise if they don't pay attention?
Believe it or not, it's AI. I don't think that, and I work with so many companies of various sizes, and Fortune 5 companies as well as smaller ones. I work globally. The vast majority don't really realize how fast it's moving and the mindset that is needed. See, it's really more about the mindset, that 80-20 rule and the things that I talked about, to realize that you can do good with it as you protect instead of, I don't want to use it. So having the right mindset about it is going to be essential. And right now we've got a lot of people that are holding back, that are not moving forward, or they get one thing, like maybe they get Microsoft Copilot and say, good, now we've got AI, which means you have a little AI, but there's more to it than that. If you looked a little bigger, a little broader, like an engineer would want to do, not be focused on one thing, but get out so that we can look at the opportunity. So I would say it is being really realizing right now how fast it's moving and being prepared for all of that.
And what is one bold prediction that you would make for engineering in the next 10 years?
Well, I'm going to even make it for engineering, but I can even make it bigger than that. But it surely is for engineering. And that is over the next 3 to 5 years. By the way, that's a short time frame. We're not going to just change. We're going to transform every business process. How we train, how we educate, how we communicate, how we collaborate, how we innovate. All of those things are not just changing, they're transforming. Now, the reason I say that is a hard trend is because the tools to transform all business processes are there already. They're already there. The tools work. Now it's so that's the hard trend, because if it can be done, it will be done. If you don't do it, someone else will. What's the soft trend? Will you do it? Well, I don't know. That's soft. So what companies will transform how they sell, or how they engineer, or how they train, or how they manage? Well, I don't know. That's soft. That's up to them. But it will happen. And so which side of that curve do they want to be on?
So, given all that you've seen and all the companies you've worked with, what gives you optimism about the future and also the future of engineering?
Well, they're actually tied together. I'm very optimistic about the future for a number of reasons. First of all, the very simple reason is optimists do things. Pessimists don't do anything because they already know it'll fail. Let's face it, they're pessimists. So it's optimists that make things happen, number one. So there's that. Secondly, I'm very optimistic about the future because as I travel around the world, I meet a lot of young people. There are a lot of bright bulbs all over the world, and they're excited about using the new tools to not just change but transform and make the world a better place. I like that because they're all over and they're sharp. Third thing is that technology. Now again, I run a research company. We study the latest advances in all these areas of technology, been doing it for over 30 years. And wow, the innovations that I see on a daily basis that are transformative. They can't, almost you could solve any problem that exists right now without even new physics. The key is, have we stepped back? Are we looking at it with a polymath mindset? Are we looking at the big picture of what's taken place? Are we looking here, or are we also looking over here and looking over there? Because there are many innovations, and the one that is way over here that's brand new might be the exact thing we need. And again, I'm seeing those in my research company and saying, wow, we could do just about anything we want. And I think it's going to be engineers that find those things, that connects those dots, and that can help us create the better future for all.
So as a final question, we have a bunch of engineers hopefully watching this today. What would you say to them in terms of thinking about their future?
Well, probably you're thinking big about your future, but in reality you're thinking small. There's a bigger big for you because we need you. And we don't need the past version of you. We need the future version of you that is embracing the transformational changes that are taking place. And instead of saying to yourself, I might be obsolete, it's like, no. If you're older, you have wisdom, you have knowledge, you have experience. Couple that with new knowledge, and wow, you got something powerful, especially if you're willing to work with some younger engineers. And if you're a younger engineer and you realize that you have new information, you're not in a box mentally, but on the other hand, you're willing to talk to the older engineers that have that wisdom and work together in a collaborative way, wow, we can do amazing things. So I think I want us to think bigger about what our personal capabilities are. There's no such thing as an obsolete engineer unless you have decided that you're obsolete.
And what would you say to our general managers, our CEO, clients, in terms of how they're working with their engineers and how they're thinking about their engineers? What would you say to them?
Well, I would address what I just talked about, but I'd also want you to be anticipatory. Look at the hard trends, those future facts. I mean, what are the future facts that are shaping the future of engineering? What are the future facts that relate to demographics? What are the future facts that we know we can count on? Because when I have certainty, I have the confidence to make a bold move. When I'm uncertain, I hesitate. So you can get certainty from hard trends. It makes sense to start asking yourself, what do you know about the future instead of what don't I know? What are you certain about instead of what I'm not certain about? What can you do instead of what can't I do? And you'll start getting a list, and you'll start seeing opportunities that you can take action on.
Daniel, thank you so much for joining me today. It was fascinating, and it was wonderful to understand your concept of hard trends and soft trends, how those can affect our clients and how they think about their businesses, and importantly, the future of engineering and the importance of having a polymath mindset for the future. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.